Good morning, South Africa and Africa at large, and you are watching Morning Express with myself right here on Galaxy Universal Network, and it is going to be a beautiful one today as we are taking a look at the leading headlines. Whitfield lays charges against Malema EFF. EFF leader Julius Malema vows to continue attacks on click stores. GBF bridges out in full swing in Ekurhuleni. Orlando Pirates remain numb on Lodge matter. And Nelson Mandela Foundation claps back at Trump. And now, as we take a look at the leading stories, the Democratic Alliance has laid charges against Julius Malema and the EFF for incitement of violence and destruction of property. In a brief clip making the announcement, the DA MP, Shadow Minister of Police Andrew Whitfield, called on the South African Police Services to do their job and protect citizens of the country, saying that the EFF is destroying the livelihoods of thousands of Clicks employees. In a statement, Whitfield also revealed that it has recognized the upset and anger caused by the controversial advert. However, the EFF's violence response is unacceptable, and SAPS should carry out their duties and act against Malema and others who have made it explicit and who have made these explicit statements, inciting EFF members to commit what they labeled as criminal acts. The DA also said that they will write to the Minister of Police, Begicele, and National Police Commissioner, General Kehla Sithole, to ask what steps will they be taking against Malema. Whitfield added that they can never allow individuals and political parties to commit such horrific acts in vigilante violence, before adding that this was not the first time that Malema and his Quants revolutionaries have called for violence and destruction of property in the name of justice.
Hi, this is DA Shadow Minister of Police Andrew Whitfield. Today I'm laying charges against Julius Malema and the economic freedom fighters for incitement to commit a crime. We've seen across the country the EFF taking the law into their own hands and acting as vigilantes as they've gone about petrol bombing, burning and destroying the click stores across South Africa. We simply cannot allow people to take the law into their own hands and to allow SAPS to stand by and simply do nothing. So today, when we go to the police station, we're going to be laying charges against the EFF and calling on the South African Police Service to do everything in their power to do their job and their duty, which is to protect the citizens of this country. The EFF are busy destroying private property and destroying the livelihoods of thousands of Clicks employees. The DA says enough is enough.
Meanwhile, explaining the motive behind these acts, continued while the closure of the stores, EFF leader Julius Malema said that that was the only cause of action after Clicks wrote what they had labeled condescending and after the retailer did not accept their demands.
Moka uniform but ba commit a crime o busy utelejeni ngoma go bidisha menwana ka ra boots we pitwa ka ra ya go bina we wena go bidisha menwana. Go and fight the real crime. Leave cliques and white racism to the EFF. We will deal with it. We will deal with white racists. We will put them to their place. There is no white man who is a racist who must feel comfortable in South Africa. Let us make racists uncomfortable in South Africa so that they take the next flight to Australia. Because there is no hope for racists here in South Africa.
The Clicks group announced that more than 450 of its stalls were affected by the protest action by the EFF. This comes after a racist advert was published by Clicks on its social media platforms. Echoing these sentiments, EFF Secretary General Marshall Dlamini thanked the supporters of the EFF coming out in numbers to execute what he said was a mandate of the organization, adding that the fight will rage on.
Fighters, ground forces, thank you very much for coming out in numbers today to execute the mandate of the organization. Tomorrow, all of us in the morning, we are reporting to the nearest click stores to make sure that all click stores in South Africa, they remain closed. Ours is a peaceful protest. Let us all remain disciplined. But in the instances of provocation and intimidation, fighters, defend yourselves. Workers and customers of clicks, thank you very much for your cooperation. Your safety is our priority. Members of the public, please notify us through social media of any Clicks shop that is open tomorrow. Fighters, let us go and defend the organization. Let us go and execute the mandate of the organization by making sure that all Click stores, they remain closed up until Friday. Thank you.
The Nelson Mandela Foundation said it has noted the statements attributed to the U.S. President Donald Trump about African leaders in general and Nelson Mandela in particular in a book by Michael Cohen titled Disloyal. In a statement by the Nelson Mandela Foundation stated that they do not believe that leaders who conduct themselves in the way that Donald Trump does are not positioned to offer authoritative commentary on the life and hard work of Madiba. Hitting back on Trump's views, the Nelson Mandela Foundation recommended Trump to reflect on a few words from Madiba that say, "A good leader can engage in a debate frankly and thoroughly, knowing that at the end of the other side must be closer, and thus emerge stronger. You do not have the idea you are arrogant and superficial and uninformed." This follows reports in a new book released by Trump's former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, alleging that Trump had supposedly said that he does not think the late former statesman, SA head of the state, Nelson Mandela, was a real leader, and South Africa had demonstrated under his rule.
The book's called Disloyal. It's actually going to be released on Tuesday, but several newspapers have received advance copies of it. The Washington Post is one of them. Now, it is very much a Washington-based story, this, but the Washington Post claims it includes alleged comments made by Trump in regards to other countries and their leaders. For example, and citing Cohen's book, the paper alleges Trump has a low opinion of all black people, including black leaders. And again, according to the paper, Jen, the book also alleges Trump praised apartheid-era South Africa, that Nelson Mandela harmed the country, and that he was no leader. And quite a bit of stuff in this book as well, Jen, about Russia and about Trump's admiration of Russia's President Vladimir Putin. That, the book claims, was simply down to Trump's love of money, and adding that Trump wrongly identified Putin as the richest man in
Orlando Pirates are now taking a look at your sporting news. Orlando Pirates Football Club announced that they were aware of an alleged incident involving their midfielder Thembinkosi Lodge. This follows confirmed reports that the 27-year-old footballer has now appeared in court on charges of assault with the intent to cause bodily harm after allegedly assaulting his partner. According to the National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson Phindam Jondwane, the footballer will return to court next month after he was released on a 2,000 bail. In a statement, the club said that as the matter is currently in the hands of the authorities, they cannot make any comments except to say that they will condemn all forms of violence, especially violence against women and children. Furthermore, the club condemned the incident, particularly as the nation has witnessed some of the most appalling cases of gender-based violence, and that they do not take this matter lightly. However, we have to respect the process and undertaken by the authorities, and allow the law to take its course. Still on this matter of addressing the surge of gender-based violence, members of the gender-based brigade at the Duduza Customer Care Center were all out in full force as part of the Gauteng's proactive efforts of the provincial government's response, Addressing members of the Ekurhuleni Community Safety MEC, Faith Mazibuko urged victims to speak out and that people should always be willing to aid and show sympathy, particularly to those seeking help.
So that umuntu wesifazane nakafika e-police station azoreport angathi nakafika bathi wena wogqoke kanjani, and then phezulu kwaloko interviewer in the open space where everybody is listening. And ufuna ukukhuluma into emhlukumezile, and she believes she wants a face-to-face with somebody who will show empathy to the situation to be violated. That's right. You need to talk to somebody now. I can cry, and show empathy. You don't want to do poison. Poison has a thing. Never station commander to duty command. Yes. Call a station commander. Some of them tell you, I don't feel comfortable talking to Babu Shula. Then tell me to the poison and I'll tell her in Hawaii police station. So I'm sharing with you these statistics. Gender-based violence is serious amongst our communities. And let us not wait to pull away and then somebody made it famous like our social media. So come on, say mobilize us.
In 98, 86, 87, 111, so I'm no woman sends a door to door. Nitanda ubonga i-office lethu le-SAPS, SAPS, eDuduza. Isiphethe kahle kakhulu ngoba masenza i-door to door sidibana nama-problem lawo okumele siwase e-police station ayohandlelwa amaphoyisa wethu. So wonke ama-case esithe sawaripota kuwo abe successful ngendlela isi.
Wow, exactly. Thank you, sir.
Ngithanda ukubonga i-office epolice station yethu bayibiza ikhaya lokhuselo. Ama-social worker asebenza laphaya. Thina siyi-WASP asincede kakhulu. Akhonile ukukhansela noku-advisa. I-door to door ebesiyenza. Esihlulayo thina ukuthi ngizom-advisa ngimthini lo muntu. Ngizothini mase ngithola isimo esinje endlini.
Sizenzeli thina senzela umphakathi wethu. Ilokho nje ngifuna ukusho kwamukeleni ama-brigade. Ngibonge bonke abathathe indima yoku-arranger le sitting elanamhlanje. Ngibonge kakhulu emisimo ukuthi ukhethe ukuthi nizeduduza. Ngiyakhumbula ngisebaseshi wakongixoxela ukuthi umntwana waseduduza. Ngiyabona impela cha umntwana waseduduza. Sibonga kakhulu, sibonge Triple C manager, sibonge bonke abantu abadlale i-role. Sithembe futhi kube isifiso sokuthi uma senisuka lana hambe kahle uNkulunkulu anithwala.
Well, these were the first headlines that we brought to you and the leading stories in and around your world. And after this quick commercial break, I get to sit down with a man of power, TIYANI, who will be joining me talking about everything to do with cancer. So join me after this quick commercial ad break.
Tech Talk brought to you by TIYANI Technologies and Systems. TIYANI Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. TIYANI Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Well, welcome back from the ad break. And right about now, I'm joined by Power Maverick, joined by TIYANI SHANGAI. And SHANGAI is his writing name derived from his name. And as we are also in Heritage Month, we get to actually dissect the name. What does it mean? Where does it come from? But today we are going to be talking all things about cancer and riding. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How do you do?
Wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much.
You came in with your helmet in. Do we call it a helmet?
Yes, this is a helmet.
Oh, I thought my terminology was wrong.
It's the right terminology.
Thank you very much. Take us through the initiative, Riding for Cancer. When did it start, and what was the reason behind it?
It started by the COVID-19 campaign, where the bikers from different clubs, mostly in Gauteng and in Lepombo, got together in initiative of a COVID-19 campaign, right?
Okay.
If we can wear a helmet for 1,000 kilometers, surely you can wear a mask every day. That is our campaign.
Yes.
To wear the helmet for full 1,000 kilometers, 14 hours is quite hectic.
Okay.
But we were demonstrating that we can,
We-
which led into the cancer campaign ride.
Okay.
Now, with the cancer campaign ride, due to COVID-19 and the lockdown, the cancer associations and also the homes that host patients for cancer were hugely impacted by the fact that they had less incomes from the companies that are supporting them and making donations to them.
Okay.
So as responsible bikers, we are saying to South Africa, we would like to embark in this cancer awareness campaign ride, where on the 31st of October, we are going to ride from Polokwane, Pretoria to MBELE. We have identified a home in Nelspruit, which is a cancer home that hosts patients, and we're going to make donations there. The following day, we're going to ride back via Sabi, Hoedspruit, Tzaneen, Polokwane, and back to Pretoria.
Oh, wow. And I think what I'm deriving from this conversation is that there are actually two parts to the initiative, where one was initially by COVID-19 supporting families that are in dire need of food, where parents are being laid off at work, aren't working as many hours as before. So at that point, you growing up, Baba, is there something that from where you come from that derived the kind of thoughts, the kind of initiatives that you've embarked on, especially during COVID-19?
Yeah, look, through the first riot, we've identified that there are a lot of other charities that are taking place. But however, with the cancer, in most cases, take the backseat. Most people don't really understand and know what cancer is.
Absolutely.
We just grew up knowing it's cancer.
Yes.
But what is cancer? What is the impact of cancer? What does cancer do? How can it affect the family? When someone has got cancer in a family, it does not only affect the patient, it affects the entire family. So with us, or myself, as a family, we had my sister who was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer, and my mother was also diagnosed with breast cancer, which was a difficult situation for the past 8 years. However, they are now cancer survivors. So the initiative, when it's come, my sister is also a biker. So if you combine these issues, we thought, you know what, let's go out there, let's spread the word. We're saying Bikers South Africa, and to all companies that are willing to sponsor and to support us, let's do this. You can give people food, but if they don't have medication, they will not be able to survive cancer.
Ooh, I'm getting chills as you talk about it, knowing that you stand for men. As you sit here, you're representing the greater landscape of men in our country and in the world. And for me, I think unspoken things like men living with cancer. Do you guys as riders also find that there are men within the initiatives that also have cancer? And how is that conversation being brought up?
Yeah, look, mostly women can really adapt and probably even accept and even talk about it. Most men don't want to engage in this discussion.
True.
And mostly they don't want to come out. There are men who are battling with cancer, but they don't want to say that. The most and obvious one is the prostate cancer for men. Which most men, especially from 40 upwards, don't want to engage in that. But it's something that you cannot run away from.
Okay.
So as responsible bikers, we include women in this ride. But we as men, we also want to stand and say, let's just not stand and become spectators and watch. What can we do about this? It's a process that started through the COVID-19 campaign. And I must tell you that there's a great response from a lot of men of South Africa, and I'm quite impressed and also thankful to know that men are out there supporting this campaign.
Man, I think it's very beautiful that South Africans can come together and we live in Ubuntu to help those that need in this point in time. But the greatest one is that how can the corporate world, how can us as people, civilians, help out in this initiative? Where can we come together on the 31st of October if we want to see you guys off well as you guys go out to go to these different homes? How can we help as South Africans?
The ride will depart from Polokwane on the Shell garage outside the N1 in Polokwane. The Polokwane riders will ride into Pretoria. We're going to meet at Hatfield, Pretoria, next to Engine Garage. Therefore, we'll depart from the N4 into Nelspruit, MBELE, where the cancer home that has been identified is in Nelspruit. What we really need there is not necessarily for us as bikers. We need support to the home. The home was hit hard by COVID-19 lockdown. They really need funding. They really need, items that are used. If I were to pick up one, they've got patients that require chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is quite expensive per patient. And they're obviously focusing on those that cannot afford this. So that's where we are really hitting to say we need support on that. There's a letter that we have with a list of all the items that is required, which we can easily publish. And this cancer is a non-profit registered organization. And they've been there for a couple of years. So that's where we want to say, corporates out there, let's get together, let's assist.
Well, I think that is very beautiful where you're saying that each patient needs chemo, and with chemo, they need food, and for them to intake their pills, their treatment, therefore they need to have food in their stomach. And I'd like to commend you on the job well done that you're doing as bikers, and not only as bikers, but as a community, helping out our provinces at large. And thank you very much. So on the 31st of October, the bike journey starts, I guess, and you guys are going to be traveling throughout to get to the home.
Thank you so much, and to all the bikers out there, let's come together. This is not about a specific club. This is anybody who's a rider, anybody who's a biker. Let us be together.
Let's stand for something.
Let's do it together, and
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be successful.
Ooh, I'm getting shivers already, knowing that you are not only here to represent bikers or the biking industry, but there's a proper initiative that needs to be spoken about, and saying that it's not just about us riding, looking cool, but we also have hearts, we also have spirits within ourselves, and therefore let us give out a hand to help out. So thank you very much once again for joining us right here in studio.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, that was Ubabu TIYANI Shangai joining me right here on Morning Express. We spoke about the cancer drive that they're going to be having throughout the 31st of October. It starts in Polokwane all the way to Pretoria, where they'll be driving to a home where they have cancer survivors. And on a lighter note, please do catch Mpumi featuring TIYANI right here on Galaxy Universal Studio this coming weekend, and they'll be debuting their brand new show, and it is all about depression through comedy. So how can you really get through depression while you're laughing out your lungs out? Well, join us this weekend as we also talk about depression with Mpumi featuring comedian TIYANI. I said it twice, so make sure that you are watching us, so that it's going to be a spectacular one. And on that note, from myself, Harmony MBELE, shining out and saying that adios. See you guys the same time, same place tomorrow morning at 9:30. And this was Morning Express.
I'm coming. I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Tell us the big difference of how you felt and how you feel now.
How I felt like I don't have hope, but now I feel I am the hope.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not only about me, and that's why we're doing CSI project. Last week we went back to Amaskal, the school that I matriculated at. We went to give back. We were giving sanitary towels. We were giving what is this? Sanitizers and masks. We have located homes, you know, because it's who I am, and doing that with my manager and the team, it makes me feel more better and better, because now I feel like I actually count, you know, and now I know my purpose, and my purpose is to make a difference. And now I'm doing the things I love, which is giving back to the community. You know, we go around
giving food hampers,
you know, giving clothes, because you know we are the helping hand, and that's what comedy is about. Comedy is about helping, and now that's where, if I'm not on stage, I'm helping other people behind the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going global with all these efforts that you have put in place?
25 countries, absolutely. 25 countries. We're going to 25 countries. We're going to be taking this global. Our head office will be in New York, Kumba Productions. Going to be managing Tobago and Mama Meet the One. Tobago. And then we're doing a Bollywood South Africa sitcom. We're doing a comedy relief show. We're doing my own reality cook show.
Wow,
and we're doing Tobago's reality show as well. So we've got and we've also doing Kitiwe.
Yeah, it's a horror
movie.
It's a great opportunity to be part of this, you know. I just got a phone call.
Did you say horror movie?
Yeah, it's South African. It's South African horror. So I got a phone call and I looked at the cast. It's such a brilliant cast. You know, like people who actually built the South African acting industry. You know, so I'm so excited and looking forward to being a part of those two productions, which is Mama Meet the One and Kitiwe.
Horror movie, and he's going to be comparing the essay.
Legends Awards.
Wow! Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Someone might be sitting at home and saying, horror movie. Debucho. Comedy, horror movie. Are you bringing the comedy aspect to the horror, or what's going on? I can imagine.
I think we've been hugely blessed. We've got our investment to produce all the aspects that we wanted to produce during lockdown.
So we don't knock, we create.
We create, and we are blessed enough to have Samad Davis coming to produce our productions. We're blessed enough to be given this horror movie to be produced as a South African production.
And also Mama Meet the One, I always say this. So creating Mama Meet the One was because I'm from Amaskrat, you know. So growing up, I imagined how it would be if I was going to get, if I would bring a white Makoti home. Like I was like, so you know what? Let me just put it on a comedy sitcom. And Mama Meet the One is exactly going to show that.
And it's 10 seasons. We started with 1 season during lockdown. And now we have progressed to 10 seasons, 25 countries as location.
Wow. That's a big achievement.
Yeah.
So that means during lockdown, you guys have been achieving.
We haven't been sleeping.
Yeah, day and night we were slaying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.